welcome back to Ordinary American, folks. Appreciate you coming back today. As you can probably tell, we're going to be reviewing the Jetboil. So, when you open the packaging, you're going to find all of these components, whether or not they should be packed inside, but as we open it up, we see we've got a nice plastic, sort of rubbery feeling lid. We've got our upper stand here, and you can flip these little arms out just like this. Just like so. I'm going to set that aside for a moment. We have our igniter and burner combination unit. We flip that little knob out right there. And in order to turn this on, we're going to lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So if we turn it to the left, it's going to start letting gas flow when we hook it up. And we can adjust that flame just like that. Now over here on the other side, we have an igniter, just like on any barbecue grill. So the process is pretty simple here. Also, one more thing. We have a little stand for our fuel canister. Okay, to give that some legs, which I recommend that because it actually gives the overall assembly a better base. And for the fuel that I'm using, it snaps on there with a little bit of work. So today we're using a butane propane mix, Coleman brand. Okay. So this process is pretty simple. All we're going to do is just make sure that this is turned off to the right to start with. I'm going to screw it onto our fuel. Just like that. And put that where you can see that knob. And then we can take this assembly right here and set it right on top, just like so. I believe that even locks into place. So we're ready to go. We take this plastic cap off the bottom of the Jetboil. You can see there's a heat sink here, some fins there. Alright, now this actually will lock on here, so you could either use this to put a pan, a skillet or something on there, or you can actually lock this assembly right on top like so. Now if you're going to boil water, I would sort of suggest that just from a safety standpoint. So we're going to get started testing this thing. First off, let's go over the ignition procedure and show how easy that is. So what we're going to do is turn on the fuel, hit the spark, and off it goes. It's running just like that. Very easy to ignite. To turn it off, just turn all the way to the right, just like that, and your flame is gone. Now we're going to put our canister back on here, and what we're going to do is we're going to try a test. Okay, so we've got a known quantity of liquid here, 3 cups, room temperature, tap water, and I've turned the heat gauge toward the camera so you can see. This little design right here will actually change color when it gets hot. So it's a nice little warning when you're on the campground or whatever, and you're going to pick that thing up and take off with it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to see how long this thing takes to heat up water. I put exactly 3 cups of tap water in there, room temperature, and I turned the gauge toward the camera so you can see this. This is actually a pretty handy little gauge that will change color when the contents inside are hot. So from a safety standpoint, that's good when you're camping. So let's get started. We're going to run this full blast. Okay, there we have it. A full rolling boil. We're going to turn this down. Just about exactly 2 minutes to a full rolling boil. As you can see, we have a nice yellow color here telling us that that liquid is very hot and to be careful. So there you have it. To be able to pack in something like this in your backpack that's just as big as what you can see here, and you can break it apart and compartmentalize it, to be able to heat up water as efficiently as that You could drop a brick of ramen in there and you're off and going, or whatever you want to do. Use it for your MREs, whatever it may be. That's pretty efficient. So depending on how long this fuel lasts, that's something that you'll have to play around with and see. But I definitely can recommend this Jetboil. I think it was a very, very good purchase.